All right, we got back and shoulders today. So, took off a little bit last week. I was drained, run down, um, working a lot, a ton, and traveling, trying to get some workouts in, all sorts of different things going on, right? Kids' activities, the whole better you're busy, the balance, right, of everything. And then I think we just were outside in the wind and the cold, and something got to me, a bug or something. So I was fighting something all last week, and I just said, hey, forget it. I'm going to just take off a few days from working out. I'm going to watch my food. So I did watch my food, and which was great because I actually just measured my waist, and I was a little under a quarter of an inch lower down. So that's fantastic. My weight's been maintained throughout my time off of working out, but I got a little bit of quarter inch off. That's pretty nice, right? So that was just because I maintained my food. So like I was exhausted. I slept in like a little bit more, 30 minutes more than I normally would, 30, 45 minutes. That helped out. Got to bed at the right time to recover. I was like, I need to sleep. I know I need to sleep because my sleep was really bad. But it was funny because I was feeling so good for a while. Like all this year, I've been feeling really good, and other than physical injuries, and so I was able to add on some more things, take on some more things, and work off of 4 or 5 hours of sleep. But I guess I can do that for just a little while until my body says, "Yeah, you're done." So I was just literally exhausted, drained. It felt like the flu, but there's no temperature or anything like that. But that's how the exhaustion felt, right? So I went ahead and took off, made sure I got some at least 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep this week during the week, which worked perfectly. And now I feel like I'm back 100%. Like I feel super good. So now I'm back, getting back onto the workouts. I stopped at a chest workout, and now I'm just hitting back today. So today we got back and shoulders. Already warmed up with some chin-ups. This will be my last set of deadlifts. One arm dumbbell rows, T-bar rows, which actually I don't think I do really good at those. But we're gonna try to keep getting better at them. So I'm gonna keep trying them. Reverse pec deck, lat raises, and then front raises. So we'll get those going today. Feel better. So it's been a good morning because I was able to tackle a lot of other things in life. Of course, looking at financials, budget. I like to look at those at least on a weekly basis just to make sure I stay on track of what my goals were financially. So got caught up there. Did some other things that I'm doing some other projects on, so outside of work. So that was cool. And of course, this is a project too, doing these videos. I got to think about things sometimes. So back to this project as well. And gonna try to get a podcast here in the next day or two. So I've been wanting to on my podcast. I'm a little behind on those for my Better Busy podcast. Go check that out if you haven't already. All right, last set of deadlifts here. Just gonna be a little bit more bend of the legs, and my knees kind of come over the bar a little bit. I got my feet underneath the bar, and my back is gonna stay flat as much as it can, other than when I'm bringing it up. This is just part of the back here, all right? Great exercise. All right, let's get some in. All right, got that set in there. All right, let's hit one arm dumbbell rows and get that going. I feel pretty good. Heart rate's up, 140s right now. These deadlifts always get my heart rate up. Anything like with the legs too, my heart rate gets up there. So I think that's all right. But the other thing, I even took off from walks. a couple days when I was really just trying to recover. But I did get some walks, and once I was able to walk, I'd go walk. And even the weather's been a little bit weird, so just walking in the house, like even before this, man, I just walked the house, you know? I've walked this house a lot of times, and I upped my 30-minute walk to a 35-minute walk. So still, I think I'm behind on weight. I know I said earlier I wanted to hit 189 by April 1st. That is not going to happen. So if I can get, let's see, 201, maybe 196. Let's try 196 by April 1st. So I'm behind. To me, this is the way I calculated. I'm behind 4 pounds. No, sorry, I'm behind 6 pounds of where I wanted to be, right? So I need to tighten up a little better. So when I say I'm behind 6 pounds of fat, that equates to 3 weeks of work. So those weeks add up, right? So 2 pounds a week, that's 3 weeks, right? For 6 pounds. So I gotta tighten up, man. I gotta tighten up. So my nutrition's been pretty good, but I think I need to start, especially because my waist has continued to go down. So that's cool. And yes, I know there's some recomp, but I'm not gaining enough muscle to where it's balancing out the fat that I'm losing. I don't think so. It doesn't feel that way. So, but it might be a little bit. So with that, I just got to tighten up more. And I think I need to start upping a little bit of cardio. I'm going to get some cardio going as well. But working out with weights is definitely a big driver into fat loss. But just getting some cardio going. I want to get a better cardiovascular anyway. So I might look at an assault bike, kind of looking at those. Treadmill, I don't know. I mean, I could get a treadmill in the house, but walking around the house doesn't bother me. I don't run right now. That's the other thing. My ankle is still pretty jacked. I cannot run. I tried to run on it last week when I was walking, and it's like not even close. So that's why I was thinking the assault bike as well. Okay, well, at least I can do the bike and let my ankle heal, because that's probably going to take another couple months, and do some rehab on it. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe get the assault bike, because man, if you haven't been on an assault bike, that thing will get your heart rate up, especially if you're going like full throttle. You can even do a hit on the assault bike. Dude, that can burn you really well. Get that heart rate up. So I might think about doing that. But I'm gonna do some more thinking. Let me get to the next one here. 1-arm dumbbell rows. All right. Last set, dumbbell rows. This is a good one. They're all good, but this is a nice one too. Like I mentioned before, I know Dorian Yates likes this one, and I like it too. I used to not, because I don't really like a lot of single-sided exercises. I feel like it takes me double the time to complete a station. But, you know, sometimes you need it because your body's not always balanced too, you know? So, but here, remember, you're going to use a little bit of your bicep, but the focus is your lats. So you're bringing your elbow back, all right? The mind-muscle connection, right? I don't know what they call it nowadays, but that's what it's been called for a while. But really focusing on that muscle with your mind and doing a little squeeze in there too. So I'm focused on my lats, and I want to make sure this exercise is burning my lat, right? All right, so let's go, last set. Trying to do a little stretch too here. So when my mind is literally pulling my elbow back, that's what I'm thinking, elbow back squeeze. as opposed to pulling the weight up. It makes a complete difference. It almost looks the same probably on video, but when you make that difference in your mind, it freaking changes. It's a game changer, man. And that's why coaching is so good at that. It will remind you of those things. And good coaches can kind of see it as well if you're not doing it right. So, all right, other side, and we'll be done here. Same thing. Elbow. And I'm squeezing my lat. Woo, baby. All right, feels good after a few days off. Next one. All right, guys, doing these T-bar row landmines. I think this is what these are specifically called because they're actually T-bar row machines. But it's the same concept. So I'm placing my grip here, so I'm pulling my lats, right? My elbows to my back and squeezing that. So that's what I'm kind of doing here. I'm gonna try to stay parallel with the bar and parallel with the ground because the movement that I'm working is gonna be perpendicular to that angle. So it's going this way, right? But so my plane and the weight needs to be coming up this way too. So if I was pulling it up like this, that'd be weird. It really wouldn't hit. So anyways, always just think about your angles there. I think last time I may have been standing up too much. I didn't realize I was doing that until the video. So I'm gonna try to stay over a little bit better, more. The other problem here is I have these bumper plates, so they're real big. I want to get like the 25-pound plates, the smaller ones. That will just give me more room to bring my elbows back. So I'm gonna have a little limitation here. All right, let's just get some done here. Just squeeze my back. Kind of funny, I have to sit my butt back a little bit instead of being over here. Put a lot of tension on my lower back, so I'm kind of balanced. So I'm just doing my back there. 141 heart rate on that. So that's interesting. All right, I'll do one more of those and then we'll switch to the next one. All right, guys, here's where we get shoulders in. And we're doing all three parts of the deltoid, right? Anterior, lateral, and posterior, right? So front, side, back. And it's just a matter of your angles. For your lateral, you can do these pretty easy. You got this side, pulling up your humerus, right? Origin insertion, pulling up your humerus. That's your humerus bone, your arm, right? Front part, you got your front lats, or I'm sorry, your front delts, which mine are pretty weak. I barely have any, so I need to work on these more. So, but doing front and bringing my humerus up this way instead of this way, right? And then your delts, well, your delts is on a different plane, your posterior delts. So I'm gonna have to bend over, get parallel with the ground, and pull tension perpendicular to the ground for my posterior delts. I've said this before, like on a pec deck machine, you're sitting up, but the tension's coming perpendicular to the plane of your body, right? So that works perfectly. And then one time, remember I did the ropes kind of face pulls, which kind of does a lot of rear delt, or posterior delt, but I had the right angle based off the cable. So it's just a matter of thinking what angles you got to get into to not move the weight, but to work the body part correctly, all right? So let me get get parallel to the ground here, and then do my posterior delts. I'm keeping my elbows out. I don't want to go this way. That could work them a little bit if I come back this way, but I'm keeping the angle out here. Let me move. So if I had my going back this way, I'm kind of moving more using my back, maybe rhomboids, you know. Here I'm using bringing my elbows out this way, staying perpendicular to the ground. That way I'm doing my rear delts, okay? Kind of easy to just like swing and do that, but keep them up here if you were trying to isolate the muscle. So it's important that you stay in the right angles. All right, this is my last set. Let's hit these here. I'm kind of watching myself in my mirror here. All right. Oh, man, I can't stand like doing stuff like that, bending over. But you do what you got to do. All right, let's move to lat raises and front raises. All right, I'll probably just do a video on the front raise and call it a day there. Call it a check the box.